Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we will be exploring the perfect continuous tense. We will see what type of words are affected and what we need to change. Certain words, such as verbs, are affected by the time in which the action took place. And these times are called tenses. And in English, we have three main tenses: the past, the present, and the future. So the present is now, the past has happened, and the future will happen. So remember, the verbs are affected by the tense. What is a verb again? What is a verb? Well, a verb shows an action or a state of being. Here are some examples: run, sleep, smell, feel, play, and watch. These are all verbs. Let's use them in a sentence. So, I run to school. I sleep at night. I smell flowers. I feel good. I play football. And I watch television. These are all the actions within the sentence. These verbs are used in the present simple tense, and these actions are happening right now. The only rule with the present tense is that the subject, he, she, or it, is used, then an S is added to the end of the verb. The end of the verb. For example, I run, he runs. I swim, she swims. I walk, it walks. S, S, S. The perfect continuous tenses. Well, the perfect continuous tense is affected by the past, present, and the future. Therefore, we get a past perfect continuous, a present perfect continuous, and a future perfect continuous. So what is the perfect continuous tense? Well, the perfect continuous tense combines both the perfect tense and the continuous tense together. So this is the form of the tense is used when the action is in progress before another action occurs. So the action is both ongoing and completed. So we add ing to the end of the verb to show the action is ongoing, and we use the word have to suggest the completion of the action. He, she, it, we use the word has. But because it's a separate tense, we also include the word been to show that is the perfect continuous, and to emphasize the duration, the time of the action. This is very important, the duration. So, remember, you have the present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. Let's take a look at the present perfect continuous. So if an action began in the past and continues to the present, we use the present perfect continuous. We always, with the perfect continuous, we always have an emphasis on the duration. Remember, we have to use the word have to suggest the completion of the action. If it's he, she, it, we use the word has. We also include the word been to show that it is the perfect continuous and to emphasize the duration. So let's put all this together and see what it looks like. For example, if we use the word swim and it's me, I have been swimming. I have been swimming. If it's her, she has not been swimming. She has not been swimming. So let's take a look at some examples of the present perfect continuous. I have been running. He has been swimming. She has been talking. It has been walking. We have been flying. And they have been playing. What about the past? Well, the past perfect continuous is used if an activity was in progress before another event in the past. This is always, remember, there's always an emphasis on the duration. As it is the past tense, we have to use the past of have, which is had. For example, here's a sentence. I had been swimming for 2 hours before I went home. So it was in progress before another event or time in the past. Let's take a look at some examples of the past perfect continuous. I had been running. I had been running. He had been swimming. He had been swimming. She had been talking. She had been talking. It had been walking. It had been walking. We had been flying. We had been flying. They had been playing. They had been playing. The had is the same for each of the different subjects. So what about the future? Well, with the future perfect continuous is only used if an activity is in progress before another time or event in the future. And of course, we have to have an emphasis on the duration. As it is the future tense, we have to use the future of have, which is will have. Let's take a look at a sentence. I will have been swimming for 2 hours before I go home. So, the activity is in progress before another time or event in the future. Let's take a look at some examples of future perfect continuous. I will have been running. He will have been swimming. She will have been talking. It will have been walking. We will have been flying. And they will have been playing. So let's do a recap of all the tenses we know so far. So we know the simple, the continuous, the perfect, and now the perfect continuous. So let's start off with the simple. We'll use the word run. So simple. Present. I run. Past. I ran. Future. I will run. Now let's do the continuous. Present, continuous. I am running. Past, continuous. I was running. And future continuous. I will be running. So, with the simple, the verb changes. So I run, I ran, I will run. The continuous, the be verb changes. I am running, I was running, I will be running. So now let's look at the perfect tense. The perfect. We've got the present, the past, and the future. So the present perfect, I have run. I have run. Remember, we use the past participle. The past participle. So the past participle of run is run. The past, I had run. I had run. And the future, I will have run. So it's the have that changes. For example, I have, I had, and I will have. And this is the perfect. And finally, the perfect continuous. Again, we have the present, the past, and the future. So we have the present perfect continuous. Again, we're using run as the verb. I have been running. The past, I had been running. And the future. I will have been running. So again, with the perfect continuous, the have changes in the tenses. Have, had, will have. And this is the perfect continuous tenses. Thank you very much.